Well, hey there. Welcome to our first video for Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And we're going to start off by talking about something that we've talked quite a bit about over the last, 2 years. That's because work looks different now, right? Your team might be fully in the office, fully remote, or a mix of the two. And it can make you go a little batty trying to make sure that you and your team are doing the right things to stay secure while bouncing back and forth or maybe just staying put. But regardless, now more than ever, you need technology to empower your team to be productive, all while protecting those people, the devices, and your data, no matter where they work from. So let's take a look at a few of the tools and essentially what they do to better protect your organization.
Tag, I'm it. So, like we had mentioned, the hybrid workspace has opened our definition of working space to much more encompassing phrase. Being able to work from anywhere is a great asset for both productivity and happiness across your team, but it does make it a little bit trickier to stay secure unless you implement the right technologies. Multi-factor authentication, or MFA for short, adds an extra layer of security to your typical login process by requiring users to identify themselves using more than just a username and password. You've likely seen this in action before. For example, anytime you've tried logging into an account and you're prompted to enter a code sent to your mobile device, or might not be able to know exactly how it works or what goes into it. It takes something you know, like a password, and combines it with something you have, your mobile phone, or something you are, like a biometric scan, like a fingerprint or facial recognition. Using a password by itself is not enough to secure your accounts. Combining passwords along with things that only the appropriate user would be able to provide is key in making sure that the right people are accessing your data.
For sure. And so now that we've talked about how to make sure that only the right people can access your data, now let's look at a way to prevent all of that sensitive data that you're protecting from being exposed to the wrong people. So nowadays, we're creating more data than ever before, and there's so much more access to technology that also means more access to all this data. So we have to be careful to not accidentally expose all of the data. One way of drastically reducing the risk is by following the principle of least privilege. So this is the idea that your team members should only have access to data that they need to complete their day-to-day work. For example, if someone doesn't work in payroll, they shouldn't really have access to payroll data. There's no need, and that just opens up a whole realm of opportunities for risk. Only granting people limited access based on what they need closes off, again, a lot of those opportunities for sensitive data to either get accidentally leaked or even compromised. This also brings up the idea of admin credentials. So if you have an admin account, you should use it to do the tasks that require those sort of permissions. But when you're doing your day-to-day tasks that maybe don't require that much access, you should use a more restricted account. Implementing this sort of policy throughout your organization not only protects against team members accidentally exposing sensitive data, but it also limits the damage that can be done should a cyber attack occur. For example, if someone has access to every single piece of data in your company, if they were to be hacked, that then leaves your organization much more vulnerable than you would have been if their access was a little bit more restricted.
Very true. And that's why it's important for us to talk about what we can do to limit the exposure to our systems. And we can do that in a proactive way that sets us up for cyber success.